Okay, guys, just doing a little aside here because my friend sent me a couple of questions over Messenger. I'm going to be covering the different power systems in IndustrialCraft. Now, you will remember the generator that we made already and the bat box that we made. Though they're two of the first tier, that's the first tier power creation, and that is the first tier power storage. We've also used copper cable. Here I have it uninsulated, and then I have it insulated next to it. Um, stepping up from that, how are we now? Let's do it by system. Okay, so this is power storage 1. This is a bat box. As you can see, it outputs at 32 EU a tick. That is low voltage. Low voltage can be handled by everything here, all these different kinds of wires, the copper cable, the gold cable, the high voltage cable, and the fiber cable, but not this ultra low voltage. Ultra low voltage is made with tin. I will pull up the recipe for that now. As you can see, just 3 pieces of tin gives you 9 of that. Ultra low voltage, I'll get into in a moment. Now, keep in mind that all these different types of cable have different thresholds of power that they can handle, and also different lengths that they can travel before they start to lose electricity. Okay, moving up from that, the next step up is an MFE. An MFE outputs at 128 EU a tick. That is medium voltage. The only ones that can handle medium voltage here is this gold cable, this high voltage cable, and this fiber cable. If you try to put medium voltage through copper cable or through ultra low voltage cable, it will explode. And if you try to put medium voltage into a machine that can only handle low voltage, then it will explode as well. Next we have the MFSU. That outputs at 512 EU a tick. That is high voltage. The only cable that can handle high voltage are this high voltage cable and the fiber cable. Once again, any other cable will explode if you try to put it through, and any machine that can't handle high voltage will explode if you try to put electricity into it. Now, to keep that from happening, there are 3 step-down transformers. This is a low-voltage transformer. Notice it looks like the bat box. The way a low-voltage transformer works is if you put a medium-voltage current into this 3-prong side, it will output low voltage out to every 1-prong side. Then you have the medium voltage transformer. Does the same thing. If you put high voltage into the 3-prong side, it will output medium voltage on all the other sides. And then this is the high voltage transformer. Now I know what you're thinking. If this guy only outputs high voltage, why would you need to step down for anything higher? Well, under certain situations, a nuclear generator can be coaxed into outputting higher than 512 EU a tick. And as such, you will need one of these if you want to step down into an MFSU or any machine in general. No machines that I can think of can handle... Oh no, wait, maybe... There may be one machine that can handle more than high voltage. Okay, now that we understand the different cables... Also, high voltage cable can handle up to 2048 EU a tick. Fiber cable can only handle high voltage if you try to put anything higher than high voltage through. Also, like I said, every one of these has a different length that it can travel. I believe, and that also depends on how well insulated it is. Like I said earlier in the tutorial, copper cable can go 3 spaces before it will start to lose energy. And what happens is every cable on the line does it. So if you have a 4 cable long thing here, and you have the bat box here, and then you have the macerator here, even though they are right next to each other and there's only 2 spaces between them, since the line that they're on is longer than 3 spaces, they'll still have a lower voltage transmission between them. I hope that made sense. I really don't remember for the gold cable. I know that the high voltage cable, you could only go 1 or 2 spaces before it starts losing voltage, but I mean, it carries such high voltage, it's for such specialty situations that losing a little bit of voltage with that isn't a big deal. These two, the ultra low voltage and the fiber cable, are both long distance power carriers. The ultra low voltage cable is for these 3 generators here, because none of these generators under normal circumstances should output more energy than this can handle, which this can only handle, if I remember, 4 EU a tick. The fiber, like I said, can handle high voltage, and it costs diamonds and glass to make, but it can carry a voltage over an extremely long distance. So it is very useful if you're trying to move from like a power station to, say, a workstation, stuff like that. You just step down to high voltage and send it along. Another thing I should mention, if you put medium voltage into a low voltage transformer, as you can see, medium voltage is 128 and low voltage is 32. What it's actually doing is breaking up that 128 into 4 separate pulses of 32. No, wait, 8 separate pulses of 32. My apologies. Or, no, 4. I can't do math while I'm recording. I apologize. Anyway, that would be the same as if you had 4 bat boxes all hooked up to the same cable outputting energy. So it's a lot harder for a step-down medium voltage line to be overloaded with demand than it is for just a bat box outputting at low voltage. Okay, now that we've handled all the voltages, I think that's a garter snake. I think that's a garter snake too. What are you doing, buddy? Anyway, now that we've handled all the voltages and storage and how to move electricity, let's get into how to make it. A generator will run on anything that burns. It will generate 8 EU a tick. A geothermal generator runs on lava. You can either pump lava directly into it using BuildCraft, or you can create cells using tin. As you can see here, you can create empty cells with tin, and then if you right-click on them, if you right-click on a lava cell, an empty cell onto a lava block, or if you put a lava block and a lava bucket and an empty cell together, you'll get lava cells. And then you can use those to load up a geothermal generator. Geothermal generators are one of the most powerful generators. They generate 20 EU a tick, so it's still low voltage. And you can have a bunch of them hooked up to one bat box, although they fill up a bat box very quickly. And they will only drain from their internal reserve as they need it, so there's no waste with a geothermal generator. Then you have a nuclear generator. Nuclear generators are really complex, and I'm not going to get into them in this quick video that I'm recording. There are a lot of guides on YouTube to how to use a nuclear generator, and maybe at some point I will make one for you. But for now, let's just say these things can create a lot of power, but they are very, very dangerous. Okay, now, those are all what I would consider the non-renewable energy sources. These 3 here are the renewable energy source. We have a thing called a watermill. We have a windmill, I believe. Or is it a wind? Yeah, it's just called a windmill. And over here we have a solar panel. Solar panels will generate 1 energy per tick as long as they are getting sunlight. So as long as it is daytime, solar panels will make energy. A solar panel, let's see, these are all made from a generator, so if I do this, oh, looks like they added some other stuff. Here we go. Now as you can see, if you make a watermill, it only costs wood and the generator, and you get 2 for it, so that's a pretty good investment. With the solar panel, it's 1 generator per. With the windmill, it's 1 generator per. And with the geothermal, it's 1 generator per. Watermills are weak. They generate less than 1 EU a tick if they're surrounded by water on all sides except for whatever side they're outputting voltage onto. But if you put a water bucket down here, you can it will generate 2 EU a tick as long as there is water in its internal capacity. There are ways to exploit this using mods. I may show it off, but that way is much better for single player than Tekkit, so I don't know if I'm going to show it on this one. This windmill is actually making a very small amount of electricity right now just sitting here on the ground. The higher up that you put a windmill and the less stuff around it, the more electricity they will make. So if you go up to like maximum height, you can get a nice amount of juice from these things. But I really don't like them. I think it's too much of a hassle to make a big wind vane. It's not like you can have them next to each other, because putting something next to it will screw up the generation of them. So the only one of these that I really like in general is solar panels. Now, one thing that you can do, and this is a mod, is there's a mod called Compact Solars. What you can do is, if you make 8 solar panels, you can make it into a low voltage solar array. That looks like a solar panel, but it generates 8 EU a tick. And if you make 8 of those, you can make a medium voltage solar array. That will make you 64 energy a tick. And if you make 8 of those, which takes a long time, you can make a high voltage solar array. And that will make you 512 energy a tick. So, as renewable energy goes, if you're going to be going that route, definitely go for some solar panels. I'd say if you can get a low voltage solar array and a decent amount of storage, like say an MFE, that should cover all your power demands for quite a long time on a base. Anyway, this has been a side tutorial of IndustrialCraft electricity. This is MyriDog signing off. Peace. Oh man, guys, did I derp. I derped quite a bit. I had 3 items in my hand and I didn't even explain what they were for. This is the last part of the... Oh, it's almost sundown. This is the last part of the energy tutorial for IndustrialCraft. Now, as you can see on these machines here, we have 4 slots on the side. Right now there are only 3 regular upgrades that will go into these 4 slots, but I'm going to cover them now. Basically, an overclocker upgrade will cause a machine to run faster at the cost of increased energy. So, for instance, if you put 1 in, it will take more energy to complete the job, but it will do it faster. And you can stack these, so you can have as many as you want. I don't think it's really worth it past about, I'd say 6. And even then, there are upgrades to these machines that I'll get into at some other point. The other upgrade that we have is the transformer upgrade. The way a transformer upgrade works is, this macerator can only take low voltage. But if I wanted to hook it up to a medium voltage line, what I could do is put a transformer upgrade into it, and then it will take medium voltage. If I put 2 transformer upgrades into it, it will take high voltage. I don't know if you can put more than that in, or if they'll even be effective, but I think 2 is the max. The other thing you can do is put in an energy storage upgrade. This little line here is how much electricity this machine had. This one, at the moment, has none. If you put energy storage upgrades in, it will add the equivalent of 1 battery's worth of energy storage in there. That's really good if you have a whole bunch of overclockers and you have transformers in there and you don't want your machine to run out of juice while it's going full tilt. Anyway, this is now the end of the IndustrialCraft energy tutorial, and I am now signing off again.